Well, with the US Open back at Torrey Pines, it's only right that we revisit probably one of the greatest majors in history. I mean, this is going to be the most talked about one this week anyway. 2008. Right. It was the final year that there was an 18-hole playoff to decide the winner of the US Open. But Rocco, that was not enough for you and Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I almost the saddest part. Obviously, I wanted to win and all that stuff, but the saddest part was it was over because I wanted to keep going. it was too much fun. But yeah, it was. I think they made him. I mean, I get it's for TV, not having 18-hole playoffs the next day, but I still feel like I frankly feel like all the majors should have 18-hole playoffs, in my opinion. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe the U.S. Open is. I don't know. It's our national open. The PGA is a huge deal, obviously. And Elk, to beat Monty in 18-hole playoff for sure. The shape he was in. but no, I mean it was. I don't know how you can explain it. It was, it doesn't happen. I mean, just doesn't happen like that. Usually they're kind of boring and it's over quick. I mean, it was almost over quick. I attempted to make it over quick, but then things changed.
Now, I have a couple of questions. I have a lot of questions, but because I don't know the answer to this, honestly. How do you prepare mentally for a U.S. Open? How do you play good in a U.S. Open would be the question.
Well, you can go back to what just for your major championship at the PGA, which was set up like a U.S. River had the high rough that year, which obviously opens do. But I was always, you're almost in the same. Well, you are. We hit our ball fairly straight. Fairly. When you played your best, you didn't drive that crooked, and you drove further than most. I drove straight and not further than most, but straight is long and opens. Because, they're usually firm. Torrey was a brick, which I loved because – so I felt like I could play good in them if I drove like I should drive. And I also felt like you didn't have to be the greatest putter ever to win an Open. You know what I mean? It's like if you're shooting somewhere around par or so, usually that wins. So I was close a few times. I actually was closer at Southern – I should have won at Southern Hills more than I should have won at Torrey. Because we were back there 2 weeks ago, and I was still mad. But Torrey's, like I said, it played in the. I can't say it played into my hands, but the firmness played into my hands because I can't hit that far. Uh-huh. But I got it running out there, and I was just fine, obviously.
I was looking at some stats, and people will be interested to hear these stats of you at 08 and Tiger. You were 40 yards behind Tiger off the tee. I think you averaged 283. He was 320. You hit 10% more fairways than he did, but you both hit about the same amount of greens. And it was really interesting to me that I found out that he only beat you by 2 strokes on the greens, which told me that you putted probably pretty good for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the really other interesting thing that I found out was out of the 24 greens that you both missed, you got up and down 2 more times than Tiger did, which is kind of pretty – well, you've always been a bit of a magician because you only play a 55-degree club. The question is, when did you know during that tournament that you could take him down? I know how it ended, but when did you feel like, okay, I'm in this deal?
Yeah, you mean during the week or Monday?
I think end of Sunday, Monday.
Right. Right. So
when did you hit the lead? Saturday, somewhere in there.
Saturday, so I had it a little bit Saturday, then lost it on 15. And then I was ended up 1 or 2 back after because I think I parred 6 birdies. So, yeah, I think anyway. Then Sunday, I had it coming to my 17th to 71st hole. I think I had a 1-shot lead. But as far as – and I'll tell you about that 1 shot. But with Tiger, though, I always liked playing with him. I like the chaos. I live in chaos, basically, but I love chaos. Some guys don't. Nothing wrong with that. It's just you don't get to play good if you don't like chaos with him because that's what he brings. Mm-hmm. Complete and utter chaos, especially then, especially in a U.S. Open. So, basically where he grew up when everybody's expecting the car wreck and me to get, decimated. But when I played with him in 99 at Phoenix, this is why I always go back to this event. I had him the last 2 rounds, and I won the golf tournament. We were tied going to Saturday. I shot 6 under, had a 6-shot lead on him going to Sunday. Still couldn't sleep. Anyway, so I ended up winning the golf tournament with him for the last 2 days. In that chaos, as you know, Phoenix, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's complete insanity. And with him, it was stupid. It was great. I loved it. But so I was ready for whatever. I never was afraid. Yeah, if I play him 9, 10 days in a row, he's gonna beat me 9. But that's all right. He's supposed to. But what about that other one? So I felt like I already got him once. And the way I was hitting it that way, or driving it, and the way he was driving it, I felt there was no way when I woke up on Monday I was going to lose. No way. If I did what I knew I could do. And I kind of did. But he did things that the great ones do.
Yeah.
As you know, guys who win major championships have something special because that's why they win major championships. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference or something, obviously, than the guys that didn't win one don't quite get or something. That's how I look at it.
Well, making that putt on the 70.
Good Lord.
On the last hole from the right side of the green on the front pin where it looks like a rugby match has been going on for 2 weeks. And you couldn't make that with a shag bag full.
No. But when I saw the thing that shocked me most about that last 10 minutes of watching him finish was the third shot. Because he was in the Kikuyu rough, right? With the Kikuyu, which is, we call it whatever you want. But it was like a Brillo pad, as you know. And he got the ball to come backwards. What the hell's going on here? And he told me the next year in the Buick, I said, tell me about, he goes, I was in an old divot. Well, of course you were. Of course you were in an old divot. Of course, because I told you, saw the thing I called the devil the night before the playoff. I said, hey, I need your help. I don't want you giving my whole soul. Just I'll give you some. Give me 5 hours tomorrow against this kid. He goes, nah, sorry, buddy. He'd love to have you, but we've had him since he was a child. So I had no chance.
Do you know, I watched a documentary, a special on Golf Channel about it the other day, and I was glued to it. But it was really interesting because they had Steve Williams there, who was, of course, Tiger's caddy at the time. And
I'll talk about him too.
Well, he had said, Tiger had everything to lose. Rocco had nothing to lose. And it went to you, and you were like, I had everything to lose. I'm playing for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I got that the last couple of weeks ago. I did a Golf Channel thing. It'll come on for the U.S. Open. Rich Lerner wanted to do something, so I did it. It's great. People are like, oh, do you care about talking about it? I said, I love talking about it.
Yeah.
It was the coolest time I've ever had. I just didn't get the trophy, right? But what Stevie said, and I've gotten along with, not that I knew him that well, but I've always liked him. I mean, I don't know him, but those comments were utterly stupid. And here's what else really made me angry, too, and I'll bring it up again. He goes, Rocco and guys like him, when they play against Tiger, have nothing to lose. Now, what exactly does that mean? I'm not really sure. So I don't understand. Well, he's a blue collar. I said, oh, I am. I came from I love it that I came from a blue collar town. Great. But where did Tiger come from? Where did he come from? His dad and mom had nothing. They worked their butts off. He couldn't play golf out there because he was. I mean, they wouldn't let him play. They didn't have any money. So what? So he needs to, like I said to the guys, I said he needs to shut up and do whatever he's doing, because that makes no sense. Nothing to lose. It's the most comfortable thing.
Would have been a lot better if you won it. It would have been a lot better if you won it. So that's something to go
exactly.
for.
I mean, if I could choose a tournament ever to win, it would be the United States Open. Period. There's nothing else I would want to win if I only got one. So yeah, there was a whole bunch on the line there.
Yeah.
So it was just.
Is Torrey Pines a good U.S. Open course?
It is when it's set up for the U.S. Open, if that makes any sense. Because I never liked it. I shouldn't say never liked it. I never did real well there in the Buick, the Buick or whatever it's called, the Farmers now. I liked it, and then Reese came in and redid it, made it hard, made it a U.S. Open course. That's why they call it. Whether you love them or hate them, they keep calling them. I happen to like them, but I think it is now what he did to it and the length he put in it. But they're going to see, like we saw in 08, and like you and I saw all the Opens we played, 27-yard wide fairways with that rough. Now, what Bryson did last year at Winged Foot was remarkable, but this isn't – Winged Foot had bluegrass rough. Yeah. You can actually – you know what I'm saying? I couldn't do what he did, but my point is those guys can. But at Kikuyu, you can't.
Yeah.
So we're going to see. Driving might matter.
is what, in your opinion, Torrey, under those conditions, what is or what was the most important club in the bag that week for you?
For me, it was driver.
Driver.
Period. And I was talking, Rich Lerner showed me those stats you told me, just the driving stats. I'll bet you I hit out of, 64.5% fairways?
Yeah.
I bet you I was 80 if you include first cuts.
First cut, yeah.
But I never hit it in the rough. Oh, I hit it in the rough some, obviously, but never a lot. I was always in the first cut or in the fairway or a couple of times in the rough, but never deep in the rough, like deep in the. But I was thinking about that the other day. I wish I could remember, but I bet you I was 80% first cut. So, which is fine because it was fine. But the driver set it up, and then I'm hitting longer clubs in. So, in air, the elevation set it up too because, I was hitting a lot longer clubs, obviously, than these guys in because he's out driving me 40. So 50, whatever it is.
Yeah. Bryson won, of course, at Winged Foot. There was only 40, he hit 40% of the fairways at Winged Foot, but the rest of the tour only hit 55%. But he was 60 yards further ahead, and he's got a wedge the length of a 6-iron and get a lot of speed,
right.
And that worked out for him.
Yeah,
that's fine. I don't know, you don't know when you hit it in the rough what kind of lie you're going to have and all that, right? Can a mid-range hitter of the ball, we'll call you a mid-range, I'll call me a mid-range, maybe medium-large, can they win this tournament next week, a mid-range compared to the guys?
They can, because if their mid-range is driving good, like I'm trying to think of who was
someone like a Morikawa who's a straight hitter, right?
Very much so. And he obviously hits it far, but not that, as far as the big guns. But yes, 100%, because I think he did the best. When he won the PGA, he hit more fairways than anybody either that day or that week, one of those two. But the bottom line is it paid off there for him in that event. But with the Kikuyu rough and those fairways at Torrey have some tilt to them. I think it's going to be more important than they think. Because what Bryson did to Winged Foot was like, oh, well, shit, now what do we do? You had to go, what the hell do we do now? Because as you know, Winged Foot, you can go up there tomorrow morning on Men's Day and have no rough, and it's hard to break 75. Okay, so it doesn't matter, but when he did that to the place with hitting basically no fairways, it's remarkable. But I don't think that's going to happen here. And I know it's going to be, so far there's no rain forecasted, I guess, and it's been dry except for maybe it rained once last week. So if it's firm and fast, the fairways are going to matter. I'm hoping that happens because it's nice to see because they're not that big. Those fairways are small. But I remember in the playoff, Tiger hit it in the right rough on 10. I hit a 3-wood in the right rough. And, obviously, he couldn't move it. He didn't move it 25 yards out of that right rough. That was back then, obviously. But my point is, that's ridiculous. And that's what I think they're going to see more of. Because what I heard, it's 4 to 6 inches right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I heard that. I said the Golf Channel was saying that. So it would be cool to see a major like we played them.
Yeah.
If you'd have missed all the fairways at Riv, you wouldn't have had a PGA Championship. It's real simple.
But 80. What about Poa annua? I mean, you've gone through all kind of different. You've gone through 5 careers with your putter. You've had long,
right.
You've had this, you've had that. Rocco, I don't putt Poa annua very good. California guys do. Tiger Woods, Marco Mira, those kind of guys. They hit it harder from 3 feet, 5 feet than I did.
Right.
Tell us about what is it going to be like next week, Poa annua?
Yeah, I grew up at Poa too in Western PA. That's all we putted on was Poa annua. Same stuff. Obviously a little different strain, but it's a crapshoot. There's nothing else to say. I mean, if you look at some of the putts that you have at Torrey or at Pebble, same thing. Sometimes you can't make them. It doesn't unless you just send it. And the guys that do that, I told the guys about the putt Tiger made to make birdie on the 90th hole to tie the. Basically, I still had a 3-footer, but he had a 4-footer that would still be going if it missed the hole. Like 12 years later, it'd still be. I mean, it was unreal the speed he hit his putts at, all of them.
I know. I can't do that.
Well, who can? There's only a couple people that can do that.
It's like
because then you got another one coming back.
For those that don't understand what Poa annua is, it's a bunch of different seeds they put on the green, and they grow at different times of the year. they have a sort of a surface all year, so they only have to plant at one time. But on a US Open, one will be a little higher than the other, and the only way to combat it is to go with more speed. But I couldn't do that, so I had to read more, and I couldn't do that either.
No,
so you finish up hopeless.
It can be hopeless, but if you, I mean, it's just a hard surface to, now it's better, I guess. I don't know how but the late afternoon times at Torrey will be the toughest, obviously. The toughest putting, because they're going to get run over. And if it's firm, the only good thing, if it is firm, it's better. It's not quite it won't get as bumpy, but that's the only good thing about it. If it's firm, it's better. But no, some of the guys, it's just hard. And you see the best guys like O'Meara won all those times out there. And obviously Tiger did too. But it's definitely, I don't even know if you call it an art. It's just, I don't know what you have to do to be a good putter.
You had said that if you could have won anything, it would have been winning the US Open. Why is that? What is it about the US Open that?
Oh, it's our national open, being from here, which is cool, but it's also the hardest. Well, it's hard to say nowadays, but it used to be the hardest one, the hardest conditions, the most penalizing.
It asked you to do the most physically.
Yes, and yeah, exactly. I remember who said this. Was it Meeks or Sandy Tatum? He said, "We're not trying to embarrass the best players in the world. We're trying to identify them." That's a genius comment. And when you get to U.S. Opens, I always liked it because I would get done after a practice run going, how in the hell am I going to finish a hole out here? Because it's so hard, But then you get playing, but everybody has to face that. And par, back when it was invented, I said this a few years ago about the guys bitching about the scores being shot, that, if no one's breaking par. Well, par, like 100, 200 years ago, meant something. Like, it meant something, like good. Like, if you made par, that was really good, because they couldn't reach half the holes that they could play in 1900, right? Or 1850. But now par is meaningless. It means nothing. You don't even know what it is. But when it comes to a place like we shoot when we tied 1 under, we shot 1 under. 2 of us shot 1 under. That's a U.S. Open score. That's what used to win Opens. Like, remember Irwin when he wanted Wingfoot 287? Yeah. Well, they lost their mind. They wrote a book about it. The Massacre at Wingfoot.
Massacre at Wingfoot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because they shot 7 over, but it's like, so what? Lee Jansen won 2 of them. Obviously, and he's a dear friend, and we talk about it some. But he's like, the main part about those 2 was overcoming the stuff you had to face. All the stuff that happened, the bad bounces. We don't think about the good ones, right? We don't think about the bad ones. But overcoming that, and Jack always said the same thing. He's like, I only got to beat like 4 guys, so because he wasn't going to beat himself yet. I mean, ever really. So that's why I liked them. I liked them because they were the hardest, and if you could strike it and hit it where you're looking, you could do good in them. Simple as that.
Well, I have a confession to make that my son said, "Dad, how come you didn't win the U.S. Open? How come you didn't even finish in the top 30?" And I said, "Because I had the wrong attitude. I used to go to the U.S. Open, and I was always pissed off because they used to be rough that was this high, right off the edge of the fairway, and then out there 30 yards over there where Phil Mickelson hit it, it was 2 inches or whoever,
They changed that. Yeah.
They flipped it.
Yep.
And I had the worst attitude about the U.S. Open. I told some of the USGA guys that I kind of blew it, and that shame on me. I wish I would have had your attitude, but by the time I got to the PGA or these other ones, I felt like it was more fair, and I think my attitude was better. But anyway, that's bad on me.
Yeah, it's hard to. I remember I played good in 01 at Southern Hills, and in 02, the USJ asked me to do an interview like on Tuesday or something. I said, yeah, I'd love to. So I go in and talk, and we were at Bethpage in 02. You were there, sure. Anyway, the 10th hole at Bethpage, it was 250 or 45 yards to get to the fairway, 255, whatever. Well, I was in the press room. They were saying a couple players, I think one was DeMarco, I still bust his butt on that, said, what kind of tournament is this when you can't reach the fairway on 10? So they asked me about that comment. I said, well, if you can't drive 250 yards in the fairway on 10, more than likely, and I'm really sorry to say this, you don't get to win. So sorry, we can't accommodate. You understand?
See?
So
It's attitude.
So sorry, we can't. Now, can I reach? I mean, I reached the fairway barely, but I don't know what else to say. I played like today. I played with Miguel today and Brand Job. They'll drive me 40 yards, like they used to drive me 40 yards. Nothing changes. So do they get an advantage? Yeah, because they're longer. They have an advantage, and that's what am I supposed to do? Complain about they hit it too far and I don't hit it far enough? No, I can't hit it far. Never could hit it far, so I just hit where I hit. So that's how I looked at it. I don't know what else. I didn't know what else to do because I just love that whole format.
You remember, of course, you'll remember this at Oakmont, hole number 8, the par 3. They played. They played it at 300. Remember 1 year?
Yeah.
I think it was the year that Cabrera won it, maybe.
Yep, 07.
And I caught that on a Friday, and the wind changed. There was a little squall come in, and the wind came in. It was supposed to play straight downwind. And I hit driver off the 8th hole, and I saw Mike Davis sitting over there under a tree, and I yell out as loud as I could for him to come over because I just hit driver 40 yards short of the green. 260-yard drive, 40 yards short. And I'm not even going to tell you what I said to him, but that is why I never could compete in the U.S. Open. I was psyched myself out.
Yeah. Well, Oakmont, they're about to have their 10th or 11th Open, but
by the way, I think I had 86.
I hate it.
Thursday. I think I had 86 on the Thursday.
Yeah, I don't get it why they go back. I know it's hard. I get it, but I don't get it. You know, playing it so many times, you're like, what? Who built this? And what are you thinking about? What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, I just played a Rainer yesterday up here. Where'd you guys go? Oh, there. I played a Rainer Blue Mound up here yesterday. That's golf. I had to build a golf course. Yeah. So that's Rainer could build a golf course 100 and some years ago. Whoever did Oakmont, I know who it was, but no. He must have been on something that week. But USJ keeps going back because it does exactly that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's silly.
We know that you didn't win that 208 tournament with Tiger Woods, but it was a pretty defining moment in your career, the way you handled it, and you're pretty much the people's champion anyway.
Right. It was cool.
You get to relive it all. I mean, there's been such anticipation for this US Open, and I'm sure you're going to be speaking about it so much over the next week. Yeah. But you light up talking about it because it was such a big moment in your career and in your life.
Oh, it was cool because I remember telling the people I was with, after the 99 thing with Tiger and then playing with him a bunch more and loving to play with him. And I just like the guy. I mean, I do. I still do. I mean, I miss him. I wish he was still playing. Well, I hope he's okay. I hope he gets to live a normal life and walk and hang out with his kids. Golf, who cares? That happens, great. But just having a chance. I remember telling the people that were around me, I went, I just like to have one more shot at him because I was 45 before I'm done playing the tour. I got 5 years to figure out to go to the championship, blah, blah, blah. Just one more Sunday. I don't care where it is. It could be anywhere. Well, I got it. I got the dream, man. I get the dream of the National Open against him, basically in his hometown, and I got that shot. It doesn't happen, and I learned a lot that day, and it was heartbreaking, but it wasn't devastating. Like Elk will know what I'm talking about. Like devastating. What I mean by that is like I just got beat, and I gave as much as I could, made a beautiful comeback, had him, didn't have him, had him, made the mistake in the playoff, bye-bye. But I didn't 3-putt from 2 feet in the last hole to lose, or I didn't hit in the lake with a wedge with a 2-shot lead. And you know what I mean? That didn't happen. That's the devastation part. Some of those playoffs or U.S. Opens or majors in that matter, on the way they're won and lost can destroy your entire world. It just hurt for a while. But I knew that I had a putt. I was telling you before, I had a putt on the 71st hole. On 17, I hit a good tee shot. And I remember telling guys, I was telling my buddy today, I don't remember anything about the swing. I don't remember even swinging, I swear to God. When I looked up, the 7-iron was painted about 3 feet right of the flagstick. I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. Rolls in there, it didn't almost go in, but it went by the hole right a little bit, about 12 feet. So I got a straight downhill slider towards it. I remember telling Matthew Marquez, because I had a 1-shot lead. Tiger was on 15 or 16. I said, if this goes in, this ball game is over because I don't think he's going to get 2 on the last. You never know, but it's over. And as soon as I hit it, I thought it's over, and I hit it like I gassed it like a roll too far, but it caught the lip and went 4 feet by. I snuck that one in, but that's the one I wish I would have, because then it's over. Because I couldn't reach 18. So I had to try to hit big diving hooks out there, and I did actually do that in the rough every day, but except for one. But I'll never forget it. It was cool, and I love talking about it. You know, it would be fun, though, but we've never done it. I've never, ever talked to Tiger about it once.
Really?
Not once. He
Ask.
hasn't said a word about it once either. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, he's got nothing to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had nothing to lose. No, he had nothing to lose. I mean, I had everything. I had nothing to lose either. It was just a waste of my time. It was so much fun because I like people thought it was going to be a decimation. Mm-hmm. If you can get the press conference on Sunday night, I said, all right, after about 20 minutes of why are you here, and you're 700 years old and you're ranked 4 millionth in the world, blah, blah, blah. And they're busting me up. And I'm like, all right, look, guys, I'm done here. Okay. I'm not here because it's an accident. I'm here because I played really good for 4 days. You can't do it by accident. I said, and tomorrow, I don't care what you guys think, but there will be a show. I have no idea what's going to happen. But at 9 o'clock, you all get to find out. Yeah. And they got the show.
And we're still watching it now.
I know. But every single time I show it, I lose. Every time. Oh. You figure one time, maybe, no. But no, it's great. And I obviously I like doing them. And I still remember mostly pretty much everything that happened. And I get it a lot. Every day I'll get it. And it doesn't bother me at all.
Oh.